Hello, and welcome to another BTFO. Today we're going to be talking about Wicked for Good. Definitely not part two. If you haven't seen it, I did do a brief thoughts for others on Wicked Part 1, which is the only time that I've seen that movie. I really have no desire to see it again. If I didn't have the opportunity to see this early and review it for BTFO, I probably would not have seen part 2, or I guess Wicked for Good. So I don't know if digitally, if they've like changed it like they did what was it, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Mission Impossible, that like now all digital versions just have it as Dead Reckoning. They got rid of the Part 1. So I don't know if they got rid of Part 1 on Wicked, if they gave that some other subtitle. I don't really care all that much. I just find it funny that they were willing to commit to Part 1 but not commit to Part 2. Which I don't know, I'd just be very curious, like, if there's some weird data out there that's like, oh, people will go see a part 1, but they won't go see a part 2 if they feel like they have to see a part 1 first. Like, I don't know, that to me is just weird, where it's like, why wouldn't you, like, if you're gonna commit, just commit. Like, don't pussy out and call one, like, one thing and one the other. But Part 1, I had a lot of issues with, in that I don't like how the whole story of Wicked is essentially just, hey, Wizard of Oz? Well, what if all the good guys were evil? And what if the Wicked Witch, like, what if she was amazing and never did anything wrong? Hooray. Like, I don't know, to me it feels like really stupid and subversive, like just for the sake of being subversive. And like, I don't know, maybe the musical is a lot better, right? Maybe the book Wicked is amazing literature that should be, up there with the works of Jules Verne and J.R.R. Tolkien. Like, I don't know, and frankly, I don't really care. I'm just judging the movie on its own merits. So part 2, I went in fully expecting not to like. I will say, I think I had a more enjoyable experience than part 1. Now, that's not to say that it's good, right? Because, just full transparency, I don't think that it is good. And without, like, going back and rewatching part 1, I actually think that Wicked for Good might be, like, a worse put together film. That, like, just on a purely, like, technical level, it might actually be worse than part 1. Which to me feels really awkward, considering, like, I'm pretty sure they were filmed at the same time. That, like, they basically filmed it as a long movie and then broke it into 2. But we'll end up getting into that. But I thought it was funny that right away, they hit you with, like, for all my issues with the first one, trying to be like, oh, well, what if actually the story went like this? It's just really funny that they're like, oh, well, like, they opened this one with, well, didn't you know the yellow brick road was paved with slavery? Like, it's like, Jesus Christ, like, really, like, that's what we're doing now. And it's kind of funny because the way that they even present it is poor, where for some reason there are pallets of yellow brick, like, along where the road should go. Then there are also, like, bison looking creatures that are, like, holding a bunch of brick, like, on their back. Then there's also bison-looking creatures that are pulling a machine that you load bricks in the top and it paves the road. And then there's also a painter's station where they're painting bricks yellow. All of this in like the same area. And it's like, no. Like some of these would be at different points, but like I don't know why you chose to present it like this, you know? Like they don't need the pallets of yellow brick. They don't even really need the like painting station. You know, they don't even need the oxen that's just like carrying the brick, right? All you really need is the bisons or the oxen that are like carrying the paver. But for some reason they're all there, and it feels like it's, well, how many ways can we show that like they're oppressing the animals? And it's like, oh, okay. And like that's one of those things where it gets really awkward when they introduce later that, oh yeah, Fierro, he's like captain of the guard. Like he is in charge of basically all of Oz's military. But yet he doesn't want to stop the the animal abuse. He's a real hot Son Piker. Like, you know, he'll say all animal abuse is really bad, but meanwhile he's got the remote for the shock collar. But the film just doesn't really want to address that. And so they like show Elphaba attacking the road too. Like, you know, they try and frame it as like, oh, she's freeing the animals. And then it's like, oh, okay. But, you know, because obviously it's like, yeah, you know, it'd be better if they volunteered to do this. But, like, that is the end of pretty much, like, that is the wizard's whole goal, is just, I want to make roads. Like, I want to make a yellow brick road that leads from the Emerald City to all the other populated areas. Like, that's his evil plan. And it's like, oh, yeah, like, you know, that's one of many instances in this movie where, especially compared to part one, I think this movie is, like, terrified of doing any social commentary, despite the fact that, like, part one, like, they had a bunch in there, and were clearly trying to do social commentary, whereas this one kind of, like, pussies out, and is like, no, like, we, you know, it's like, no, the animals and their oppression, like, that definitely is not a metaphor for anything. Nope, like, we're just gonna, like, glaze past that, like, you know, like, nope, we don't want to talk about that. Like, I don't know, it's really awkward as a story, because basically part 2, or Wicked for Good, needs, for the bulk of it, to have the Wizard of Oz story as you know it going on. However, it is told in a way that is incompatible with the original Wizard of Oz. Like, Glinda doesn't have magic in this version, which makes it really awkward, because the Wizard of Oz, she definitely does. Like, she absolutely has real magic, and, like, is a real witch. And so, you know, in this version, we just cut to, oh, yeah, she just sent Dorothy on the Yellow Brick Road. Now the Wicked Witch shows up. Which it's like, no. Like, first off, that can't happen, because, like, the Wicked Witch needs to tell Dorothy that, like, she's gonna get her and her little dog, too. And it's like, oh, right. Well, so that can't happen if she just, like, showed up from the shadows. But then it also gets really awkward, where the film really doesn't want you to think about, like, it fully acknowledges that Glinda gave Dorothy like the shoes off of the Wicked Witch of the East, um, which is another really awkward piece of world building where, for some reason, even though they can't find Elphaba, they label her the Wicked Witch of the West, even though they don't know where she is, and there's no Wicked Witch of the East at that point. But, you know, it's like, well, that's what everyone knows her as, so that's what we gotta call her as. And it's like, oh yeah, it's almost like, you know, you shouldn't fucking touch this other story because you're doing it bad. Like, you know, like, you know, if you want to make your own thing with the source, that's fine. Be respectful to the source, like, or just make your own thing. But don't do this weird, like, oh, teehee, like, look, it's just like how it is in the source, except for it's not in every other way. Like, it's completely different and it's its own distinct thing. Please, Amazon, don't sue us, because I'm pretty sure it's Amazon that owns the rights to the film. And, like, because the film isn't public domain, the original Wizard of Oz story is. And so there are a lot of weird parts in this movie where, like, for example, Elphaba sets the monkeys free in a really weird scene where for some reason she just believes that, like, oh yeah, the wizard, like, if I just choose now to work with the wizard, he'll, like, stop enslaving the animals, even though it's like, no, that was the whole disagreement. Like, the wizard said that, like, the people of Oz need a bad guy to unite against, and so the animals were gonna be that bad guy. Now you are that bad guy, and he's still enslaving the animals. Like, what makes you think if you become a good guy that he'll stop enslaving the animals? Like, that goes against his own goal. Then there is no bad guy to rally the people behind. But, you know, for some reason, Elphaba becomes a retard. Is like, oh, I'll help you if you free the animals. And he's like, okay, go ahead and set the monkeys free. Even though he never intends on actually freeing the animals for some reason. So he just lets her do that for some reason. And, like, she lets them go and she's like, oh, you're free. Fly! Fly! And it's like, no, that's not the line. Like, no, like, that's a pretty iconic line. Fly, my pretties, fly. Why didn't you say it? And it's like, because we don't want to get sued, because that's a film line. So instead they just leave an awkward pause where the line should be. And it's like, oh, cowards? Like, you know, it's like, nah, like, sorry, I get that, like, there are copyright reasons, but don't pretend like you're gonna reference the thing if you're not. Like, you know? And, like, I don't know, there's also another really awkward part where Elphaba, for some reason, her sister needs to be cheered up because Bach never actually loved her. Which it's like, yeah, I guess we got that from the other film, though I don't know, because it's part of the first film that I guess I don't remember all that well, so I'll give it that maybe it could have been another way, but I'm pretty sure I thought they were trying to be like, oh yeah, he was really into Glinda, but the more time that he spends around the Wicked Witch of the East, like, he actually fell in love with her. But then this one is like, no, actually, no, like, that didn't happen. Like, he always loved Glinda, even though it was blatantly apparent that she didn't like him. But so the Wicked Witch of the East needs to be cheered up, and so Elphaba starts doing magic to make her fly, because, you know, she's in a wheelchair. So flying is like the opposite of being in the wheelchair. And it's like, that's kind of interesting. Why would you depict someone's life in a wheelchair as like, oh yeah, it's just suffering? It's like, huh. I don't know if like feels really awkward, like maybe if she lost the ability to walk, I could see that, but it's like, nope, she's been in a wheelchair like all her life. I don't know, that just feels really awkward to be like, yeah, and she hates it. It's like, oh, okay, like, weird statement to make, movie, but alright, like, but as she's like making her float, the silver shoes that she has on, they like glow red hot and are like steaming and stuff. And the actress who's like playing the sister, like she does have like a smile on her face and like she's laughing and it's like, oh, like this feels so wonderful to be flying. And it's like, yeah, but like your feet are on fire. Like literally, like it looks like those shoes would be burning your feet. Like that does not look comfortable. Why would you do that? It's like, well, because we can't have the ruby red slippers. That's a movie thing. So this is the only way we could reference it. And it's like, first off, no, like you can have other ways to reference it, but also like you don't need to reference it. Like, you really don't. Like, you can just have them be silver. Like, you don't need to reference the movie if you don't have the rights to the movie. Like, just stop. Like, but, yeah, and that's another awkward thing of, like, changes that they made, where, because the first one establishes that Munchkins are, like, it's just a different place. You've got people from the Emerald City and people from Munchkin Land. It's like having people from New York City and New Jersey, right? Like there's no actual difference other than location anymore. They're not all little people anymore. And so it becomes really awkward because then they have a scene where like Bach is trying to leave. And they're like, oh, the governor, the Wicked Witch of the East, like, she did this law that says no animals or munchkins can travel anywhere without first getting her approval. So, like, step aside, like, don't get on the train. And it's like, how are you telling who's munchkins and who isn't? Like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a really, like, I feel like prior adaptations of The Wizard of Oz that actually had the Munchkins be little people, they could get away with a scene like that. But you can't, because there's no difference. And so there's a lot of weird things like that. But I will say, as far as getting back to my point on like the poor filmmaking in this one, there are several scenes that both both should take place concurrently and sequentially to each other, which is like, yeah, you can't have both. Like, it has to be one or the other. And like, it gets really awkward where a lot of the time it does feel like, oh, everything else is paused besides the scene that we're watching, and so then everything else will just unpause when, like, we go back to it. Where, like, you have Bach gets turned into the Tin Man, and he, like, runs off upset, and then, like, there's a whole bunch of the movie that happens. And then we cut back, and the governor, the Wicked Witch of the East, is just rolling around town going, Bach, where are you? And I was like, oh, like, so the governor doesn't have any more assistants, despite the fact that we saw one earlier, and, like, she's just been doing this all day? Like, oh, okay, like, that's... I don't know, it just feels like you had her on pause and then decided, okay, like, now we're back, let's watch you again. And, like, same with they have the Dorothy and her team, they meet with the wizard, and he tells her to get the broomstick, And so then they go and they leave Oz, and like they're leaving the Emerald City, and Glinda sees them, and then Glinda sings a song all about how vain she is, which I don't know, to me it just gets really annoying, where it's like, yeah, I get it, she's vain, like, I understand, that's the change you've made, can we move on, please? I don't need to hear 15 songs about, oh, aren't I vain? It's like, yeah, I understand, like, trust me, I get it, like, you know, you're not doing anything with this. When she's like, oh, maybe that's a bad thing, it's like, yeah, no shit, okay, like, can we move the fuck on? But then after she does her whole song, she looks out the window and they're just still leaving the Emerald City, like they're exactly where they were, because now Tin Man has stopped to like do his whole song about how much he personally hates the Wicked Witch. And it's like, oh, okay. And then like, I don't know, it gets really awkward, especially where so Elphaba goes and confronts Glinda right after Dorothy leaves Munchkinland. And then she gets saved by Fiero, who then gets arrested by the guard. And for some reason, like, they're just like, okay, well, obviously he must know where the Wicked Witch goes now. So we're gonna torture that out of him over in this field. Like, yep, we're just gonna prop him up on a post and torture it out of him. And so then Elphaba now has like magic foresight where she can just see all over the place. And it's like, you know, the movie did that because she had a big crystal ball. Like, that's how she was able to see around Oz, was her big crystal ball. She didn't just have psychic visions of like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, but then she tries to do a spell to make Fiero immortal, which it's like, oh, I don't know, like, I don't think the film's ready to have that discussion of like, you know, like, oh, so you're gonna die and like he will continue to live on forever? Like, you just cursed him with immortality? Like, I don't think the film's ready to have that discussion. And like, it clearly shows us that like he turns into the Scarecrow. But the movie pretends as though, oh, nope, like, that's gonna be a reveal for the last, like, 10 minutes of the movie. I was like, no, like, guys, you played your hand. Like, you showed us him becoming the Scarecrow. Which is just really awkward to think about in the context of The Wizard of Oz, where it's like, oh, so not 5 minutes before Dorothy got there, like, somehow the guards raced in front of Dorothy to hang this guy up in the field, and then we're beating the shit out of him. He turns into a scarecrow, and they go, oh, like, I guess he must have played that, like, oh, I'm retarded now, like, oh, I don't have a brain, like, they were like, well, fuck, scarecrows don't have brains, obviously, like, well, I guess we gotta leave. Then they walked off, and then Dorothy, who would have been able to see that whole thing, like, walks up and then gets jump scared by the scarecrow. It's like, yeah, it's almost like these two stories are incompatible and that you shouldn't try to make them work together. But like, I don't know, it also gets really awkward because then for some reason Elphaba is like, oh man, I don't know if my spell worked or not, but you know what? They tried to kill him and that sucks. So now I'm just gonna be evil. Like, she just fully commits to, like, yeah, you know what? Like, I know they've been saying that I've been evil and I've been trying to, like, fight a just cause and I've been like, oh, I can expose the wizard, but nah, fuck it. I'm gonna be evil now. It's like, oh, okay. And then she, like, kidnaps Dorothy like later on, like the next time we see Elphaba, basically she kidnaps Dorothy off the road with the flying monkeys. Then she's like, give me back my shoes, bitch. Throws her into the basement, which again, in this version, they're not magic shoes. Like, they are just regular shoes. So Dorothy fully could just give them to the Wicked Witch. The Wicked Witch could just take them off of her feet. Like, again, the reason why she can't do that in The Wizard of Oz is because they're magic shoes that Glinda put on her magically. Dorothy can't remove them. Like, you know, but again, these stories are incompatible. They don't work together. And then, like, Glinda stops by and Elphaba's like, oh, actually, I'm, like, super nice now, despite the fact that I have a child locked in my basement. But, you know, I was super good, but, like, you know, I guess the people do need a villain to rally behind. The wizard was right the whole time, which it's like, I don't know, why would you frame it like that? Why would you frame him as like, oh, he's the Hitler of this universe, but also, you know, maybe he had a point. It's like, like, maybe this is why we don't do social commentary without thinking through it. Like, this is really fucking weird. Like, but then, like, which is so weird because they frame it as like, oh, people are coming. But no one comes to the castle? Like, no one does, in this version. Because she doesn't have any of her guards that, like, she has in the movie. Because that might make it awkward if there were, like, a whole bunch of green people. You know, like, that might make their weird, like, oh, people are racist against her because she's green. That might make that a little hard to believe. It might make it a little hard to believe that, like, oh, she's only green because the wizard, you know, when he got her mom to cheat on her dad, like, you know, he drank some green potion and had some green jizz and made her a green baby. It's like, yeah, that might be a little hard to buy when there's just a whole bunch of green people. But so, because there are no guards, that means that the Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and Scarecrow, they can't sneak in. Which means that, oh, the Scarecrow can't get lit on fire, which can't lead Dorothy to, like, throw the bucket. So, what ends up happening? Well, so Elphaba lets Dorothy out of the basement, and then just starts going, I'm gonna fight you from over here, across the room, ha. And then, like, grabs her broom and lights it on fire. And then Dorothy is just like, okay, fuck you, bitch, and, like, throws a pail of water. Then she, like, pretends to melt, but she can't say, I'm melting, oh, what a world. She can't say that for legal reasons. So instead she just goes, It's really funny because they show it to us all in shadow, but the quote-unquote trap door that she hides behind, it's like, no, she would have had to open that up. Like, you know, like, Dorothy would have obviously seen her walk down into the trap door the way that they designed that. Like, they didn't have to make the trap door look so stupid. Why did they do it that way? I don't know why they did it that way. But, so yeah, and then Dorothy, like, grabs the broomstick, and, because this is all, like, we could only see her shadow, because for some reason they were like, oh no, it would be disrespectful to cast someone else as Dorothy, rather than, like, the original actress from the original movie, and it's like, first off, a lot of people have played Dorothy at this point, but also, like, again, you don't have the rights to that movie. So why the fuck do you care about being quote-unquote respectful to it? Like, this is probably the most disrespectful to that movie, like, version of a story that you could tell. Why do you keep pretending like you care about being respectful? But, like, so Dorothy's shadow, like, grabs the broomstick and, like, does, like, a Fortnite emote. It's like, hell yeah, like, I fucking did it. Like, that bitch is dead. Like, I murdered that bitch. And it's like, okay, like, that's a weird direction to take, because again, like, in the original story, or at least the original movie, like, the reason why she throws the pail of water on the Wicked Witch is to put out the fire on Scarecrow because she wants to save her friend, and the Wicked Witch dies incidentally. Like, she wasn't intending to murder someone. Again, she's a kid from Kansas. Like, you know, like, she's a little farm girl. She doesn't intend on murdering people. But I guess in this version she does. And so then it's really awkward, because then Glinda goes back to the Emerald City and just tells the wizard that, like, oh yeah, she's dead, and also, like, you know, I guess you didn't notice that the elixir that turns your cum green, like, you know, I guess you didn't notice that, like, yeah, you would have a green kid, and so yeah, surprised, you were the dad all along. And he's like, oh, how could I have killed my daughter? And it's like, I don't, like, I don't know if you even would make that association, like, you know, if you haven't made that at this point, and, like, she lived all that life, it's like, I really don't know that you'd be like, oh, how could I kill my daughter? Like, you know, I kind of hate when movies do that, where they're like, well, yeah, obviously, like, you have a blood connection, so you really, like, you know, you're connected to them no matter what. And it's like, no, like, typically deadbeat parents don't really care what happens to their kids. That's why they're deadbeats. Like, you know, like, I don't think it makes much of a difference when they're like, oh, that was my kid. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know. I don't think that really affects deadbeat parents all that much. But so for some reason, his grief lets Glinda say, yeah, fuck you, leave. I'm gonna take over now. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, the wizard just agrees, and he's like, well, but where will I go? And she's like, oh, just make something up. And so he, like, does the whole hot air balloon stunt, but it's like, I don't know where he actually is supposed to go. Like, he doesn't make it back to Kansas. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know what happens to the wizard, frankly. And it's also really awkward, because it's like, oh, so Dorothy's just stuck here, right? Because, like, Glinda's not magic. Like, her shoes aren't magic either. Like, Dorothy's just stuck here, right? Like, you know, like, how is she supposed to get back to Kansas? But, like, yeah, the film doesn't want to worry about that, so we just don't address that. And then it's really weird, because then Glinda, like, because Glinda goes from being hyper competent to, like, utterly retarded between lines, which is just insane to me. Where, like, because most of the time they try and play her as, like, really ditzy. But then there are just, like, a few scenes and, like, the end of this movie where it's like, no, actually, she's hyper competent. Like, don't worry, like, they're not leaving Oz in the hands of a retard. Like, they're, you know, she's actually very capable. Like, and it's like, oh, okay, sure. Whatever you say, movie. Like, yeah, so then she goes to the other witch, Ms. Marble or whatever. She's like, oh, I'm arresting you, by the way. For what? I don't know. I guess you caused a tornado that somehow brought a house down on the Wicked Witch of the East. So I guess it's murder? Like, you know, like, you're not gonna have a trial or anything, because we don't do that in Oz. So, like, the flying monkeys are just gonna take you to a prison cell where presumably you'll just rot. And for some reason, even though she can, like, magically summon tornadoes and stuff, she just doesn't resist. She's like, oh, I guess it's my time to go to jail. And then it's like, yep, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. Oh, wait, actually, the Scarecrow goes back and opens the really obvious trapdoor, like, the thing that you would not be able to open discreetly, and, like, finds Elphaba, and then they travel to the netherworld of Oz to spend the rest of eternity in a barren land of nothingness. It's like, oh, okay, like, you know, and it's like, well, isn't that romantic? And it's like, I don't know, man, like, you know, like, I don't think you want me to ask questions about this, because it's like, well, we know from earlier in the movie that, like, they definitely had sex when he was a human, but it's like, can he do that now? Like, you know, it's like, I don't know, like, you know, because I'll be honest, I've never made a Scarecrow, but I really don't think that they're made with penises, like, you know, and I don't know if he could even get it up if he had one. Like, I don't know, it just feels really awkward, where it's like, yeah, maybe this isn't a story you should tell, like, you know, maybe this is just so far out and beyond, like, it's such a bastardization of the original Wizard of Oz that it's like, yeah, maybe you just shouldn't tell this story. So, I don't know, I'm sure that a lot of people will like this, and I'm sure it'll probably make a bunch of money, but if you want my honest opinion, I think it sucks balls. Like, you know, without having rewatched part 1, I think part 1 is actually, like, a better made film. Like, part 1 actually has songs in it. This one has, like, 2 full songs, which is Glinda's Vanity song, and then the last time Glinda and Elphaba are together, they sing a song. But then, like, the rest of the movie is all, like, 30-second snippets of songs. And it's kind of bizarre, because it'll either be like 30 seconds of singing followed by a minute of talking, then back to 30 seconds of singing, or it'll be 30 seconds of song A, 30 seconds of song B, 30 seconds of song C. Now we're back to song A. Okay, we did it. That was a full song. And it's like, no, that was an incoherent mess. Like, you know, it's like, I don't know, man, like, even as a musical, like, I feel like it does a really bad job. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this, like, whatsoever. Again, I would really recommend the original Wizard of Oz. The original Wizard of Oz is a really neat film. You know, like, there's a reason why it has such a legacy. It's because it's fucking cool, man. Like, it was a really cool accomplishment, like, but, you know, so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess if you want to see this, like, you probably haven't watched this review, like, just gonna be honest, like, I don't think anyone who wants to see the Wicked movies, who's really into Wicked, I don't think they'd make it this far. If you did, you know, good on you. Thanks for sticking around. Feel free to leave a comment letting me know, like, how wrong I am, or if you agree, you know, hey, this could be one of those cases where maybe all of the play fans or all of the book fans are like, yeah, these movies fucking suck. Like, we hate that they're successful. You know, it's happened before where there are a lot of franchises that people are like, yeah, that adaptation that, like, everyone seems to love, it's a really piss poor adaptation and we fucking hate it. Like, so maybe it's one of those cases, I don't know. But yeah, I hope whoever made it to this point, I hope you enjoyed this BTFO. It is a bit of a long one, but thank you for watching, and bye bye.